Next spot on the board for us is the Niners. Niners at Detroit Lions. You guys who have watched Bebsie and I for a couple of years now know that we are both 49er fans. And I think this is a great spot for them. And I think 7.5 points is a fine number. And I want to back them here. Shanny's in his fifth year. Mike McDaniel and D'Amico Ryans come in, offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator in year one. They draft Trey Lance. He's got a stinger right now. It looks like, I don't know, Bebsie will let us know if he's even available to come off the bench. Trey Sermon, round 3, number 88 out of Ohio State. Elijah Mitchell, round 6, number 194 out of Louisiana. And Alex Mack comes in to bring that veteran presence from the Falcons. They lose Richard Sherman, and maybe we all lose Richard Sherman. Jerick McKinnon, running back, over to the Chiefs. Tevin Coleman over to the Jets. Jordan Reed retires. Look, last year was ugly. Injuries were a huge factor. We all know what happened in week 2 in MetLife Stadium. All the guys were uncomfortable about the turf, and it was in their head. And, my dad was my football coach. And look, I've got fucking toddler shoulders. And he used to just yell at me. If you hesitate, you're going to get hurt. If you have any concern over something like the turf, there's going to be a hesitation. You're going to get hurt. When they were all complaining, God, it worried me. And then, sure, Bosa, Garoppolo, Mostert, all get fucking hurt. Kittle was already on the sidelines. We barely saw Samuel and Ayuk together. I get why they move up to draft Trey Lance. How often? I mean, if you have a successful franchise, you must think that you're not going to get a high draft pick very often. And maybe, I don't know, I'll hear your breakdown on that. But Garoppolo will be the guy for week 1. Mack comes in. So now they have Trent Williams and Alex Mack on the front line. That's going to be very good. You got Laken Tomlinson, Mike McGlinchey, Aaron Banks. Banks was McGlinchey's teammate at Notre Dame. Then D'Amico Ryans comes in, and he studied directly under Saleh, so he doesn't have much coaching experience, but Saleh was, had him under his wing. They were 5th in the NFL in total defense, even without Bosa, D Ford, and Richard Sherman for most of the year. So this is a very dangerous defense. Kinlaw, Armstead. Armstead signs a 5-year, $85 million deal. Kinlaw and Armstead last year, just 5 sacks in 2020. I'm curious to hear what you think of them this year. And all-pro inside linebacker Fred Warner, everything's based around him. And Jason Verrett now will be taking over after a nice season. Big season as number 1 cornerback. The Detroit Lions, all new coaches coming in. Dan Campbell, Anthony Lynn, Aaron Glenn. They've changed the whole dynamic for the Lions. They've changed everything in that locker room. Jared Goff comes in. Tyrell Williams from the Raiders, who we didn't see in 2020, torn labrum. Brashard Perryman comes in from the Jets. Jamal Williams from the Packers. They lose Stafford, Golladay, Marvin Jones, and Kerryon Johnson. A complete overhaul. Brad Holmes got a ton for Stafford. I was very impressed with that. And they did not draft a quarterback. They restructured Goff's contract. He's going to be the guy here. DeAndre Swift will need to take pressure off of him. They got Jamal Williams to back up DeAndre Swift. They have the highest paid center in Frank Ragnow. They used their 7th overall draft pick to pick Penei Sewell. This is a pretty strong offensive line. I mean, I guess that's where the good things are finished. Hard to find, other than TJ Hawkinson, who will be the focal point of their passing game. There's not a lot to like. Their defense was a complete disaster last year. Record for most points and yards allowed. And last in quarterback pressures. They never blitzed. It was a strange season. Trey Flowers, Okwara, and Michael Brockers are going to be expected to change that. Okwara had 10 sacks last year. Jamie Collins comes in. They draft last year, number 3 overall, Jeff Okudah. He played just 9 games. He's expected to step up in a big way. Melifonwu, they draft out of Syracuse in the 3rd round. This is going to be an improved team, but are they vulnerable here in week 1 against the Niners? Here we go. The 7.5-point favorites for the Niners. That hasn't changed. In fact, there's been a 5-cent move towards the Lions. This total opened up at 46. It's now at 45. And from a cash flow situation, we have 18,624 tickets in, 79% of the tickets on the Niners, 75% of the cash, then 57% of the tickets on the under, and just 29% of the cash on the under. So expectations for an over here. Bebsie, take it away.
Well, before I get rolling, Burgundy bets. Yes, I do like that look. I agree with you wholeheartedly. I think Brandon Ayuk is, especially if he's healthy, staring at a 1,000-yard season. Now, quick to the game. Listen, there's value here in the 49ers at 7.5. Loads of talent coming back. But not just that. This team is hungry. This team is pissed off that a season was lost to injury. Really, most people had them going back to the Super Bowl or at least the NFC Championship last year. Their season was completely lost. You brought up what they lost in Richard Sherman. It's not me trying to knock a guy while he's down. Richard Sherman did not play well when he did play last year. I do think that the injuries over time have slowed him down enough that, even if he is on the field, I don't think he's the player he once was. He should consider playing safety if he comes back. But Bosa's back. Ford is back. Penei Sewell is not going to like facing Nick Bosa and D Ford and coming in substitution, Samson Ebukam. It's not going to be a nice first day for the rookie, even though I think he's going to be an absolute beast. But look, this 49ers team is super amped up right now. And I also don't think if Lance does play, which I think there's a very good chance he will. He was only supposed to miss a week because he has a chip on his finger. Playing that dual quarterback system that they flashed in Oakland is going to give other teams fits. So, yeah, Shanahan's pissed off. This team is pissed off. They are healthy. And I think Detroit ends up being their whipping boy for the first week. Like, they are going to go off on this team. And look, Detroit brought in some players, but I don't think they're a better Detroit team. First of all, they have Goff at quarterback instead of Stafford. I don't care what else you put around that. That is a monumental blow to any team. Again, not trying to knock a guy while he's down, but Goff is not the answer. That's why the Rams paid a fortune to get him out of there. So while they added a bunch of guys on teams who have had good stats in certain situations before, again, I have no faith in this Detroit team. I feel bad for Detroit. I feel bad for the city of Detroit, the Lions fans. They deserve better, but I don't think this is the year where they turn it around. And this is not an easy introduction to the NFL for Penei Sewell and their new head coach, which also had a disastrous opening presser.
And Caveman Bet says, stop TJ Hawkinson. You stop the Detroit pass attack. Big Guy Bubba. And we have so many great cappers in our chat. Big Guy Bubba, exceptional capper. And great to have him. And he said he doesn't care that the under has got to be good here. Got to be good. And again, apologies for my son frantically searching for titty.
I'm not hearing it, Jimmy. Just
okay. Good.
For what it's worth, I can't hear the titty scream.
Okay, that helps. That helps me so much.
I don't know if the other, I don't know if anybody else can, but I can't. It just sounds like you're losing your mind slowly over there.
Because I am. I'm starting to sweat. Okay, I am going to move on to 49ers, and I will bet them this evening.